All right. Yeah. Hey. MHayashi. Back to some more modern. Gotta keep modern content flowing, right? Because hey, we all get frustrated with modern, but we also can kind of do the most amount of stuff without having to get turn one, epic stormed like in Legacy, which I might post one of my Legacy leagues. We'll see, but yeah, it's actually yeah. Let's just say I can't. It's hard to get better than 4-1, and 4-1 the 4-1 that I got was a little difficult to replicate. But in any case, yeah, modern gives us a chance to just do the most amount of stuff, while also, at least for the time being, not necessarily getting turn one. So hey, we got that going for us. So anyway, what are we doing here? So we're right back to this Panza version. The thing that I just kind of like about going the Panza version is just that it gives us a way to interact with the opponent in a very uniquely red kind of way. Like, obviously, black can discard cards from the opponent's hand. Blue can counter spells. White can destroy artifacts and enchantments, I guess, and do other weird stuff, like prevent the opponent from casting spells this turn, or, I don't know. White just kind of does white stuff. Maybe that's one of the issues white has, is that maybe it doesn't necessarily have anything that much more. I guess green also. Green just kind of has beefy creatures, artifact, enchantment, destruction. So, I think there's a reason why black and blue have historically been some of the most powerful colors, because they can actually disrupt, what the opponent's doing, even if they're like a combo deck. But the thing is, red has a very overlooked ability to interact, which is land destruction. And the thing is I never could really get into traditional Panza decks historically, just because, one for oneing myself, trading, a card in my hand for, a land on the battlefield, it's just kind of bad if they get mana flooded. And I know that seems so cliche, but it's it really is true, though. It really turns a situation where normally they might just lose from mana flood, and actually, makes that like a god hand, so it's just not, that's always the thing that's frustrated me. Now, I mean, it's not, there is perhaps a place for traditional Panza, but the thing I really like about this deck is I feel like we come very close to reaping most of the benefits of traditional Panza without much of the downsides, because we don't actually trade one card for one land. We trade a card, we basically don't trade a card. We trade some mana for one of their lands. And of course, the first, 2-3 lands or so, they will probably have 2-3 basics. That's the norm in modern. But after we hit, 2 or 3 basics, which shouldn't be too hard with 8 Field of Ruins as well as all these effects, it doesn't take that long before we really actually these cards just start becoming pure land destruction effects. And when they have draw a card attached to them, or 4/4 flying bodies, 4/4 flying trample bodies, or they replace the land rather than in a way, Field of Ruin becomes even better than Strip Mine, because when they don't have basics, Field of Ruin strip mines them, but we get a land back. Now, granted, we have to pay 3 mana up front. We get 1 mana untapped back, but it's a 3 mana investment in a sense. You could look at it as a 2 mana investment because you get 1 back, but either way, as opposed to a 0 mana investment with strip mine. So I'm not saying they're the same thing by any means, but on the other hand, we do get a land back. And yeah, I just really like the way that we can play the traditional mid-range type of, strategy, Flame Slash, Lightning Bolt, Unholy Heat, control the early game with excellent burn spells. This is really the cream of the crop, I think, as far as burn goes. We can deal with most threats for 1 mana, essentially, while also having the ability to disrupt. And Seasoned Pyromancer just goes a long way into also helping stabilize. Just 1 card, we can flood the table with chump blockers. We can also create 3 bodies that the opponent has to deal with, like in the control matchup, where if we actually create some decent pressure if this resolves, even if they counter it, discard it, whatever, we still get 2 tokens out of the graveyard. It's just, I've already said this phrase too many times. And honestly, Mission Beatrice, as we all know, this is kind of our expressive iteration, since we're not in blue. It even has some advantages of expressive iteration, because we can discard it with Seasoned Pyromancer, still get use out of it. And I'm back to good old Experimental Synthesizer. I was really hot on Mazemind Tome for a while. It's really just so mana intensive, though, and one of the main things I liked is it really helped boost the burn matchup for free. It's pretty close, actually, because it does have some other advantages. However, I think we're just not seeing much burn at all anymore. I mean, we know Modern is in a bad place when people don't even play burn anymore. But yeah, I just haven't seen burn in a million years. And I think if we're just not seeing burn, I feel like Experimental Synthesizer, it's just kind of more efficient, and it does create another body. Which at the end of the day, the surprising amount of times opponents actually bring in Surgical Extraction or something And if they deal with the Seasoned Pyromancer, we will have to get there with our Dens, Krenko's Buzzcrusher. Sometimes we side these out though. So like having another win condition actually can really help, because I did actually deck once where the opponent like surgical the Seasoned Pyromancer. I was pretty close actually to still being able to win, but ultimately I just ran out of threats. And you know, and I had a Maze Mind Tome as opposed to Synthesizer that game. I was essentially, I think I'd sideboarded Krenko out. They surgical to Seasoned Pyromancer, and then I basically had to get the Return of the Bugbear, and that ultimately just proved too difficult, because I was in a situation where I had to decide if I wanted to wait until I could Ponza all their lands so I could ensure that Den would be safe to attack so it could get there. But I think the problem is, though, I think all my Dens were pretty much on the bottom of the library. So the problem is, as soon as I saw one, I'm like, well, but the problem here is that will I be able to actually go the distance? Because, whatever. Not sure if I articulated that well enough, but okay. And one of the main things we're actually trying this time is we're trying Pick Your Poison. I've been getting a lot of recommendations to try this card out. I did try it very briefly, but in all honesty, I don't think I gave it a fair enough chance. It's hard to remember exactly how it went, other than I think I played Amulet Titan like 3 times in a row, and it was okay. It's not bad. It's just, I guess I just didn't get to see. I think what happened is I was comparing it to like cast into the fire. Yeah, where's that card? Yeah, you know, cast into the fire to instant exile target artifact, or you can deal 1 damage to 2 creatures. I mean, this card is kind of underrated in its flexibility, because it's also a clean 1-for-1 for Orcish Bowmaster, so it's pretty sweet. And I guess what I was just kind of thinking is like, well, I mean, enchantments, like there's just not that many enchantments I have to deal with. Although one of the main reasons we've been thinking about Pick Your Poison is that frickin' Leyline binding, Leyline of the Guild Pack plus Scion of Draco nonsense deck. I hate that thing. I just really like having a clean answer to that. But one of the things I actually realized is that I really actually kind of need an answer to Scion more than I do the Leyline of the Guild Pact, because although the Leyline can do some fruity things, like at the end of the day, it is ultimately kind of a mulligan in a sense, because they have to go down 1 card to enable all that stuff, and we can continue to deal with their lands and whatnot. They can tap their fetches for mana, but at the end of the day, whether they crack it or they tap it, you know, to fetch for mana, to use for mana, you know, that can expose that to us fielding them, for example. So it kind of turns out almost the same thing. But basically, we just got to deal with those Scions like ASAP. And so actually, for a while, I was actually playing Storm's Wrath. This card was actually better than I thought, although it didn't actually. When I won against the Leyline of the Guild Pact decks, it wasn't because of Storm's Wrath. They just didn't draw Leyline, or I just, I had a good mix of like Flame Slashes and stuff, and I could Field of Ruin them and all that. I don't play as much removal as I used to, so actually the Zoo matchup just in general is not as good as it used to be, although I still think it's maybe slightly favorable, but it's more evenish than ever. Might be even slightly in their favor because if they catch on, I think they probably should have to mold to Leyline. It can be very difficult, because I need a very, very strict combination of cards to really deal with, especially the Scion of Draco. Plus turn 2 fully powered 5/5 Kavus are always difficult, because it takes a while to actually get Delirium going, so you know how it goes. But yeah, Storm's Wrath, yeah, it was surprisingly good. It's just it wasn't necessarily that good in the Zoo matchup. And one of the main reasons is because of what's that card called again? Stubborn Denial. Yeah, Stubborn Denial just makes this card kind of awkward. I mean, my theory crafting when I was playing this for a while is that I would have them basically pawns it out by the time I casted that. But in practice, that just doesn't happen, because one of the things I forgot is when they dropped that Scion, my original thinking was, okay, well, I can't deal with the Scion, but I can deal with everything else, and in the meantime, while I'm also popping off their lands, as long as I can at least survive at 4 life or something, then I can Storm's Wrath, and it even clears up any other creatures. But in practice, what I realized is, wait a minute, no, that doesn't work, because the Scion gives all the other creatures hexproof, so it's like, uh-oh. So in reality, and especially that's a problem with Kavu, because the Storm's Wrath doesn't actually doesn't one-shot the Kavu, but I can't really afford to play like a 5-mana card like Burn Down the House that I've been experimenting with in Pioneer either, because because then that I usually just die before I can get to 5 mana. Honestly, 4 mana is oftentimes like the cutoff point where like I literally it's that turn or never, and I just usually don't have the time to dink around with blowing up their lands and stuff before playing this. And so then what happens is what happens is either they've got multiple Kavus in play plus the Scion, so then like I'm basically dead because I play this, it deals with the Scion, but then the Kavus kill me, or like I play this, but then it gets stubborn denialed. It's just kind of, it's not like, but the thing is, it did actually have its moments, but it's, again, mostly it was in other matchups. One of the main ones was what's it called, Yawgmoth. Actually surprisingly good against Yawgmoth because it clears the Yawgmoth, it clears all their other creatures. It even clears a Grist if the Grist ticked up just once. If the Grist down ticked for whatever reason, or it just takes 4 loyalty clean off the Grist even if it's been ticking up for a while. But I mean, just very surprisingly solid in that what do you call that, Yawgmoth matchup. It is possible though that like Anger the Gods might be better because that deals with their undead creatures. It doesn't one-shot the Yawgmoth itself though. But if they got a Yawgmoth in play plus some other creatures, they just sack all their other creatures and gain value that way. But like anyway, I might revisit this, but there is certainly something to be said about pick your poison as opposed to something like because this card just is a clean one-shot. The problem though is that we can't really play it until turn 3 because we got a Field of Ruin, fetch out our forest. People sometimes wonder, like, hey, how can I splash green in a mono red deck that doesn't have any green duels or anything and doesn't have fetch lands? Well, we actually kind of do have fetch lands because of these Field of Ruins, because it doesn't say basic mountain, so I can actually fetch the basic forest. So that's the idea. I've tested it. It's actually more reliable than it might seem. A little point of nervousness though is 1 forest. If they deal with this somehow, we can't cast or pick your poisons for the rest of the game. Plus, on top of that, having only 9 might be a little inconsistent to actually see this even by turn 3, because I won't always have Field of Ruins, and so there could be some consideration to playing a second one, because maybe there's something about even numbers, but having like 10 total green sources, because I count the fields as green sources because they can fetch them most of the time. Almost all the time the opponent's going to have a non-basic for us to hit and then fetch out. So yeah, I mean, so there's something to be said about maybe having 2 of them, but in the past when I played 2 of them, it just felt like that second one was a waste. On the other hand though, this one isn't an instant, and in the past cards I played, like Haywire Might or something with abilities instant speed, I could end of turn play it, and then on my turn play it again. I can't really do that with this one, so there is this concern that there may legitimately be certain situations where I want to play 2 pick your poisons on the same turn. The most obvious example I can think of is Counter Magic, especially if it's like that blue-black, one ring control deck, where I may want to pay pick your poison, they counter, play another one, and hopefully they don't force a negation or something. I can't really do that unless I got 2 forests. I don't know. We'll see, though. Relic of Progenitus again. So, I've been really high on the Stone of Eric, but the problem is I feel like there's a lot of Ren and 6 decks running around for whatever reason. I haven't necessarily seen those in a while, but they seem to be rearing their head again. I have been able to beat them sometimes without Relic, but one of the main issues is just, sometimes they do get me, and there's honestly just not that many situations, I feel like, where Stone is that much better anymore, because I feel like Rakdos Scam is just not as ubiquitous as it used to be. Back when Rakdos Scam was pretty ubiquitous, and it was kind of a no-brainer that Stone of Eric was better overall. Stone is slightly better against Yawgmoth as well, because it's a clean answer to those Undying creatures. Yeah, but on the other hand, Relic, I mean, this deck obviously hates to see Ren and 6, so I just feel like Relic just kind of makes more sense unless Rakdos Scam really makes a comeback. I do see it sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, because Rakdos Scam is not as represented, I'm also not necessarily as well equipped as I used to be. All these, like, land destruction effects, they're a little slow and clunky, so sometimes, like, sometimes they could get us. But anyway, we do have these options at the sideboard. In Ratchet Bomb and Sylex, we can we can play 6 of these basically, and yeah, there's just something to be said. Good against rhinos, good against multiple stuff. it's just a good catch-all. Death Shadow. So, oh yeah, and you know, what's it called? Chalice of the Void. Can't forget about that. The only thing I don't like is this gets shut down by Karn the Great Creator. Oh, but one thing I forgot to say about the main deck though is Return of Shatterskull Smashing, and I used to play 12 colorless sources in the main, like either Blast Zone or like a Volatile Fault or something. I guess I just felt like I felt like every game that I did drop because I didn't have a red source, I just thought to myself, do I really need 12 red sources? Because like I can win with them, but maybe I'm just, you know, maybe like every game I drop, like I shouldn't, and it just makes me maybe slightly better, because there are certainly some games that I win that I otherwise couldn't by having more utility with the extra colorless lands. But it just feels like a very easy fix to some of these lands, to some of these games where like they drop a turn 1 recommend and don't have a red source until turn 3, and it's just way over by that point. I don't know. But I will say, one of the nice things about Shatterskull Smashing is that it's just a very powerful late game card. And when I'm only rocking 12 burn spells, 4 slashes, 4 heats, 4 lightning bolts in the main, and frankly, pretty much, unless you count the Ratchet Bombs and the Silexes as extra burn spells of sorts, which they can be used in a similar fashion to deal with creatures and whatnot, but we just don't have as much removal as some of the previous versions, so it is just kind of nice that one of our lands is a removal spell, and it is a little clunky to say the least. It's quite mana intensive, but at the end of the day, it can deal with most creatures, and it can even deal with some creatures I just can't, like a Cultivator Colossus. So if I got 8 mana, I mean, I can deal with up to a 12/12 Cultivator Colossus because it doubles by that point. So, yeah, like it's just surprisingly versatile. It's not like, there is something to be said about playing Spikefield Hazard because it can deal with Ragavan on the early turns. On the other hand, though, this being able to be played untapped is just very invaluable. I would say overall, Spikefield Hazard is probably a slightly better burn spell, because there are a lot of 1 toughness creatures, including Ragavan, DRC, and of course Orcus Bowmasters. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures that we have to deal with. However, Shatterskull Smashing does still have slightly more versatility in the later game because it hits more stuff. It can be a 2-for-1. And I think most importantly of all, it's just kind of a better land, because having that option to play it untapped, even if you pay 3 life, it's a little steep, but you know, when it's worth it, it's really worth it. So yeah, you know, plus it just takes advantage of the fact that this is a non-Obosh version, and we also don't have Jegantha. And well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to play Jegantha or Obosh anyway, because Krenko's Buzzcrusher violates both of those conditions, but it just kind of like, you know, doubles down a little bit on kind of rewarding me with a very solid card if I pass on Companion. So I guess that's nice, you know. Anyway, let's maybe get into the games. I think I've ranted long enough. Oh yeah, before I do though, my apologies in advance. Game 2 is missing. That one I didn't like miss or anything. I just honestly, I was gonna drop from the league because I was kind of frustrated. I know I'm human, and sometimes I want to go back to the drawing board too quickly. But you know, I was just like, you know what, I was doing that a little too much, and you know, like if you hemorrhage tickets too much, like it's you end up wasting money and it's no good. So I just like, you know, I just decided to play it out. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep the recordings or not. I don't want to be a spoiler alert or anything, but let's just say the league turned out, I think, worthy of your all consideration. So unfortunately though, match 2 is a casualty of me thinking I wasn't going to finish the league. But yeah, so there's no match 2. I mean, there was a match 2, but I conceded way too early, to be honest, and there's no point. Like there wasn't that much back and forth. Like it was a combo deck that I wasn't, you know, too confident to beat, and was also going to drag out for a little bit. It was basically a Valakut deck where they usually play Ren and 6, you know, and I really shouldn't though, because I do beat the Valakut deck sometimes. The problem is like very often I will take 1 game off of the Valakut decks. It's just very hard to actually get 2 wins. You know, like I can steal 1 game, but the combination of Ren and 6, and it's a new world fire or whatever thing that returns the lands from the graveyard. Yes, we've got Relic, but like, A, we don't always see it. B, they can Boseiju you sometimes the Relic, and you know, sometimes they don't even need it because they just curve it into like 8 lands and Valakut me, and they play a shit ton of basics. So, you know, the Pawns Up land doesn't always get them. Although sometimes we can actually kind of kind of whittle enough mountains out of their deck that it becomes a little hard to combo. That has happened. So it's like it is a matchup that feels winnable. It's just frustrating because like I feel like 70% of the time it's going to drag out a really long time, and I'm going to lose 1-2 if that makes sense. Like it's just, and that's like one of the most frustrating things. But anyway, look, that's neither here nor there. Unfortunately, match 2 is a casualty of that. But I'm glad I decided to finish the rest of the league anyway, and I'm gonna try to work on that. Just the feeling of pretty much being guaranteed to go 0-2 early on, and I guess I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said though of like just not having to deal with that negativity, because I probably wouldn't. Because to be honest, I probably would have lost that match 2, and I probably would have been on Mega Tilt, and I probably would have lost match 3, made a mistake of some kind. Amulet Titan demands actually really being on top of my game. Otherwise, I make one mistake and I instantly lose. So there's a very good chance I would have lost match 3, and there's a very good chance I would have tilted even worse. And then the whole league basically doesn't even go anywhere. It's not even worth sharing. And then the whole thing, I don't even post to YouTube. I don't know. This is honestly probably a character flaw I need to work on. Getting tilted. But like, what red-blooded human being doesn't get tilted though? I think it's just like, don't we all get tilted? We just don't show it, right? It's like showing weakness. Like, I mean, like it's like you're in warfare. You get hit by a bullet. I mean, everybody feels pain, right? Or maybe pain's not the right word because the adrenaline can block it out, and you feel like worst pain in your life in the hospital, basically. But not that I've ever gone through it personally, but from what I hear. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody feels like some fear. Everybody feels some whatever. Like these are like natural human emotions. I think what like separates the great soldiers from the lesser ones is being able to not show it. 'Cause, showing weakness in a battle is always anyway, whatever. I'm gonna get to Marcus Aurelius right here. Let's get to the games. Okie dokie. This one's gonna be a keep. See what we got. What we got for today. This grief avatar is giving me Rakdos scam vibes. Mulligan to 5. Okay, so this, I'm getting Coffers vibes. So since we have 2 of them, just play this out tap now. Probably hold the other one. This can be a surprisingly powerful late game spell if we draw enough of these. Maybe I shouldn't have played this out though into the Demolition Fields, especially when I draw one of those, because now I get to color fix them. But truth of the matter is, I'd probably have to get this off anyway. And this might tempt them to use this now, so I can go after the basic swamp. I mean, like, in a sense, actually, this is kind of like fielding them, too, in a sense. I don't know. Might be just kind of rationalizing it here. Alright, I'm going to do this, because I'm going to try to wait to use my Field of Ruin on stuff that's a little more actually good on their end. Now, they might play a Orcish Bowmasters, but yeah, because they could have floated and then used the other one, but wouldn't have, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference. Okay, well, so they might play either a Karn or a Ring next turn, which is always something to watch out for. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to feed them a good target for the Demolition Field. Let's see here. One Ring, okay. Yeah, One Ring is a little scary, but we'll see. Yeah, I would much rather hit that with the field than anything else. Ooh, Krenko's Buzzcrusher. So here's what I'm going to do, actually. This isn't always my first choice, but I don't want to expose this. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do this. And I could get rid of this, but honestly, I kind of wanted them to Demolition Field me, actually. So I'm playing this out, actually, to be an intentional Demolition Field target. The Buzzcrusher just seemed better there. I might regret this, but this is also kind of a sitting duck for for discard of all sorts. So they drew 3 cards for 4 mana and 1 life. And that's only more cards. The fact that you always draw so many more cards compared to how much life you lose is definitely very one-ringy, or very one-ringamajig. That is perfectly fine. Now, I'm probably going to get Fatal Pushed. That's fine. Yep, well, they didn't have any follow-up, so it's not the worst yet. Okay. So here's what I think we're going to do. We're going to play this. If they play... Okay. I could go after their Field of Ruin, right? I really could. Much rather them use it. Okay. Alright, what's it going to be? Yep. That's to be expected. I'll probably Field of Ruin one of these at end of turn just to, get burned through their basics more. Alright, that's fine. Probably going to be a Relic of Progenitus, I'm guessing. Seems like the new Hotness. Liquid metal coating. Okay, well that's a thing too. Alright, well I guess we'll hit this. And we'll hit the Karn. Now I could Demolition Field this. It's kind of... I guess I probably should... Let's do this, actually. Let's do this first. I could flash this back, but... Yeah, let's actually Krenko's Buzzcrush. Do this, do this. And I'm sure this will be met with a Fatal Push, which is fine. Unless they're finally out of basics, which I doubt. Yep. Okie dokie. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, interesting. I guess that's legitimate. 2, 4. We definitely want to hit that. I'll probably take the Shatterskull, which is fine, but this can still do work. Profane Tutor, okay. Alright, as much as I'd love to play this Cleansing Wildfire, I think I actually have to go for the Seasoned Pyromancer. Because just like this, we're in a bit of a pickle. I seem to be a little light on the land destruction somehow. Sometimes I can actually kind of whittle them down, but not this time. That's okay, because I'm not going to attack them anyway, so... Oh, no. I'm guessing this will eat a Supreme Verdict, but I'd rather them not gain the 3 life while they're out. Alright, I think they're slick. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we might as well hit this one here. I'm going after the basics. Play to win, you know. Actually whittling them down sometimes actually gets us there. Well, I can't follow it up, but maybe I draw one of my Unholy Heats. I mean, they're somewhere in my deck here. Idiot. Alright. Well, it's about time, but now I've got bigger fish to fry. Or do I? I have to get rid of that. That's just how terrible this is. This is a clean answer shielded, but I still have to I still have to deal with the Karn, because Karn's just hell on wheels for this deck here. It has sorcery speed, so I pretty much had to do it when I did. Well, that's more often than you might think. These guys time themselves out. So I'll just keep on playing for now. Sure they're gonna have another Karn. Nope. Let's see, Seasoned Pyromancer is probably what I need. Man, this would have been better when I had more lands. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do anything in this current situation. That also would have been a lot better a long time ago. Alright, let's try to do this here. So, good to know. I guess we finally ran them out of basics here. Alright. That felt like chopping my toes off. Wonderful. Love modern nowadays. Flame seems unnecessary. Pick your poison. Only problem though is what if they throw some dumbness out like a who gives a shit? In a previous game, I got them somehow. I whittled them down, but somehow I didn't draw enough card draw stuff. I guess this time I don't know. Weird. I don't know what else. Like this stuff gets shut down too easily. As does this. This is necessary to deal with Karn. It's probably one of the worst things that can happen. Didn't the Bugbear actually? Forget that. It's too easily dealt with. Because they've got those fields. So let's Shatterskull. It's a little bit. I kind of want more basics, but at the same time, I'm a little conflicted about Shatterskull. On the other hand, nah, it's got to be this between the removal and between their removal and their fields. I think the den is just a lot more vulnerable. So essentially, at this point, I'm not really playing Modern to actually have fun anymore because this deck is a total miserable time for the opponents if it works, and literally every single deck in Modern nowadays on the opponent's side is also total misery when their deck works. Maybe I do actually enjoy Pioneer more. Some of the mid-range games are actually kind of back and forth. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. I mean, there's nothing really else better I'm doing at the moment to draw a card as well. 13 minutes left. Yada yada yada. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'll pick your poison. Might as well play this out. Nothing else to do yet. This is where putting Obosh to hand could have been sweet. I really don't like the One Ring, but I mean, ultimately it is a tool for fair decks, but it just makes the fair decks feel like unfair decks. Might as well, I guess. Yeah, let's do. Like, I also, another thing I've got to maybe go back to the drawing board is I'm running out of card draw. Like, no synthesizers, no whatever. I don't know. Okay, at least I got a clean answer to that. Sploosh. I wonder about the merits of actually playing a second forest, because what if I want to play two of these for whatever reason on the same turn? Oh, I really probably should have hit it, but whatever. It's okay. Interesting. They didn't want to. I probably should have Field of Ruined, actually. I really should have. Because now whoever Field of Ruins first. Yeah, that's fine. I got instant sorcery land. Cityscape Leveler. Might actually be close to running them out of basics here. I'm going to wait on the Unholy Heat. Yeah, because I think that's kind of a better one. So I'm guessing they probably have a Cabal Coffers, but at least I have a Pick Your Poison for one of them. But without any way for me to just dig further into my deck, which I'm just not drawing them, I guess. I don't think the solution, though, is playing more card draw. I think there is a point at which playing too much card draw is kind of counterproductive, but Alright, well, let's do this here. Like, where are all my stuff? Like, really? I need to actually start drawing some synthesizers, Seasoned Pyromancers, Mishra's research desks. I'm so sad. That's fine, that's fine. I think I'll go after this just because I think I have to. There's nothing for them to hit, I think. Come on, something. This is insane. I can't believe this. Oh, yeah. No card draw at all. Alright, Thoughtseize, you got it. I mean, you know what? You already know about it. Okay. I didn't even have Delirium anyway. So I didn't have Artifact. Now all those like cards that would have been helpful now are completely shut off because of Karn. Karn is such a piece of shit. I hate this card. Guess I need a Seasoned Pyromancer, and I guess I need them to not have Orcish Bowmasters. And I guess I need to draw into something else. I don't even know. Well, let's... I don't know. At least I can kind of mess with Sundering Titan, even if they have a whatchamacallit thingy-madooter. Okay, Sundering Titan. Oh, okay, fine. Doesn't have flying, though, unfortunately. I see no reason not to tick up, but I'll take it. No artifacts, so might as well do this. I know I lose 2 life, but might as well, right? So this is 5. I could actually deal with the Shieldred, or I could be super greedy. I'm gonna be super greedy. So I do technically have 7, 8, 9, so I could technically pick your poison and Shatterskull. If Thoughtseize me again, then shame on me. Well, I'll go for it. And lose to... Okay, so Hammer Pass, Smashing, okay. Ultimately, this is a 6 and a 6. And Orcish Bowmaster kills me. Or they don't have Orcish Bowmasters, I don't know. Okay, bye-bye. If I were them, I'd get rid of my forest. Oh, they can't. Oh, yeah, they can. Yeah. And they have to get rid of their swamp too. Alright, this is one of the reasons I don't like this, actually. Or maybe I should play a second forest. I don't know. It's hard to say. I know I could have played Buzzcrusher, but what's the point? Just so they got enough removal for everything at this point. Okay, let's see. Might as well try to go after their lands, right? Hope I please don't have another Karn. Please don't have another Karn. Because that's just gonna make things so miserable for me. I guess they could also have 3 removal spells. That's not out of the question. Cool, cool. Okay, so I'm smelling that they do have 3. Cool, cool. Look, I finally drew this. Alright, sorry about that. I just don't want to deal with another stupid Valakut deck. Are these even real decks? Like, I don't even, like, Modern is fucking changing every 2 seconds, and it's too much. Like, I need to know what I'm supposed to metagame for. Okay, Amulet Titan also feels like plucking my toenails out, but it's, at least this is a matchup that is a real matchup, and I know that it means something for me to metagame against. Like, and I can beat these Valakut decks, I guess, sometimes, but they're not a great matchup, and they're also just bullshit decks. Like they're not real decks. I'm sorry to say. I mean, like, our deck isn't a real deck, but our deck is what we're trying to have it beat real decks. And I don't think a deck that loses to counter magic can be a deck that beats real decks. But what do I know? And our deck doesn't lose to counter magic. So, ergo, I don't think we fall into the same bullshit. Maybe I should have played the field out, but I don't expose that to go Seiju. Lately, I've been really not enjoying the Amulet Titan matchup. Normally, I probably would have just started a new league, but for some reason, I guess at a certain point, I guess I do have to respect hemorrhaging tickets too much. Alright, we're going to field. I think I'm going to hit the Urza Saga. What is this? I think they've got it with Seiju. I mean, I could be wrong, but otherwise I just don't know. I think Valakut's the safer hit. And in a lot of Amulet decks, some of them have only 2 forests. That definitely improves my chances. Or their third one's in their hand. I think most of them play 3. Okay. Nice, nice. Always nice. I mean, I'll take it. I kind of want a Cleansing Wildfire, though. No, I mean, I gotta whittle them down, though. It's gotta be, right? I don't see them doing anything with this card anytime soon. It's just too mana intensive. So I think I'm gonna go after this one. Because they can bounce that to their hand. Crumbling Vistage might have actually been better in retrospect. I don't know. We'll see. Get rid of their green. Crumbling Vistage, okay. Kind of half expecting a Boseiju at this point on my Krenko. Okay, or not. So should I Mishra or should I Seasoned? I'm going to Seasoned. I'm going to try discarding these two. Because the Mishra is very valuable for digging. Alright, so I guess we'll do this then. Huh. Well, this is good for Delirium, so I guess we'll do that. It's not necessarily a total loss. Ring. Yeah, I hate the ring. Plus now I have to hit one of my elemental tokens in order to get the Delirium. But I think it's worth it to get Delirium though. I mean, on the other hand, now I don't have lethal next turn. Well, actually I do, because they lose 1 life. Okay. Well, let's see. Pick your poison. Seems like pick your... Not such a great card so far, but having access to all these Ratchet Bombs, so that might actually be the secret star of the show. The Lightning Bolt is actually that good in this matchup. Without Obosh, I can't one-shot anything with it. Here's the problem, though. Everything else is kind of good, though, so... I mean, I brought in Pick Your Poison, but what do I actually take out? Oh, Seasoned Pyromancer is great for restocking, though. But I can probably go down to 1, but now what? This one-shot's Titan. This one-shot's Dryad. Maybe Krenko? Yeah, this is the problem here, is, Huh. What do I take out, right? I guess I'll... Yeah, I guess I'll do that. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Maybe I don't need all 6 of these Ratchet Bombs. I don't know. I don't know, like, going down on card advantage always seems iffy. On the other hand, this isn't a matchup where I really out-card advantage them per se. I just try to whittle their land down. What the frick? Another problem with this too is I actually have to fetch out a forest. Okay, Synth Lattice. Okay, then the Bugbear. Let's go, I guess. Okay, well now I have a forest for this. I guess I can camouflage it, right? So I'm going to do this. Just because having this on 1 so that I can actually deal with Amulet seems kind of important. As you can see, when they don't have Amulet, which they just naturally don't this game, but when they don't have Amulet, they're a lot less scary. Okay. What is this? Oh, okay, well I've got something for that. Hyacinth Gardens. So I got 2 choices. I can Demolition Field, or I can Cleansing Wildfire. I actually think I want a Cleansing Wildfire. I don't know, it's close though. Actually, I'm going to Demolition Field. And the reason why is because I've got the Sylex. If it wasn't for the Sylex, I'd probably... Actually, I could have used this, but maybe Flame Slash. This gives me some protection against Amulet. Otherwise, this can be helpful for dealing with stuff before it comes into play. I mean, like in response to the untap trigger, I mean. Okay. I'm a little bit worried that if I play Sylex, they're going to use what's it called on me. On the other hand, I just don't think I can pass up the opportunity to play two of these. It just seems like the obvious use of my mana here. Yeah, that's fine. Rule Chaff. Ring, that's fine. I've got to pick your poison, so. Dryad, okay. I guess pick your poison can have some merit here. I guess I'll do this here. Having this on 3 seems like not a terrible thing. Okay. Which one is more important? I think white. No, what am I kidding? Green is, in the abstract at least. Okay, that's excellent enchantment. Alright, I do have a pick your poison, so I think I'm going to be okay. I don't really think there's anything they have on 2, so I might as well put this to 3. Other one obviously remains on 1 for the Amulet. Okay, I see little reason not to lead with Synthesizer. Spin the old roulette wheel. Okay, that's right in the nick of time, actually. Gotta deal with this. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact. I'll probably save this and crack the Experimental Synthesizer next turn because I don't want this to hit my cards, if you know what I mean. So I can make them sacrifice an enchantment. I probably will, actually. You know what? I lied. I'm going to do both of these. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this. Maybe I'll do Mishra's resource desk instead. Now we'll do synthesizer. I don't know what's taking them so long. Okay. Yeah, I just really want to do synthesizer because I really don't want to get caught. Okay, well, ended up in this situation. This is honestly okay. We got both of these out of the way. We're definitely in the home stretch as far as getting mana flooded goes. Let's definitely put aside as enchantment. Don't want them to be on Titan mana next turn. La 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 la. La 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 la. Okay. I'm in real trouble though here if I don't start drawing more stuff here. This could have been a big mistake, but I really want to get... I may have to rely on this to deal with the Titan. Come on. Man, so this might be a big problem, but I really don't want them to get Titan mana. Come on, untapped land. Alright, now I'm open to Amulet. I really thought I was going to be able to play that card. Alright, well, Ratchet Bomb on 3 at least. Uh-oh. I was surprised they went after me, but let's see. Maybe they forgot that my Ratchet Bomb can actually deal with their Dryad, I don't know. So here's the plan. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Gonna do this. And I guess we're gonna Ratchet Bomb. Da, 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 da. La 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 la. Very sweet, very sweet. If they got another one, they got it. Mm-hmm. 9 minutes. Oh my goodness. Fair. Alright, Filigree on 6. Let's do it. Let's do this here. I can play both, I think. So I probably want to hit the MHayashi. Yeah. We hit the Slayer's Stronghold. Yeah, and of course we're still like always teetering on the brink of oblivion with multiple Amulet Titans, but without the ability to give their Titans haste. At least we're not too out of luck. Oh, 5. I could attack with double Bugbear next turn. I'm not sure where exactly that leads me. Yeah, I think change of plans. I think this is definitely better. Krenko, man, Krenko's good, but I kind of like drawing cards a little bit better. Then again, this does threaten lethal next turn, doesn't it? Yeah. Now, I could... I'm just going to hold up Demolition Field just for interception purposes. Well, I do go down to 4. should be able to intercept most of their most busted plays. Their best play would be like... Not sure, actually. Well, I clearly have to Demolition Field this in response to the trigger. I don't see any way around that. I'm not sure how they generate green mana to make more land drops, but we'll see. I think this is probably VG, right? I mean, the climber top, okay. Okie dokie. Match 4. So. So pick your poison. Obviously, it does have versatility. I think I need 2 forests, though. I think I'm feeling the pinch. I have only 1 forest. There are definitely situations where I may want to play 2 of them in 1 turn. Plus, having a backup one is always nice when you've got like a Sundering Titan on the loose. That could have made a difference. Obviously, if I could have played the other one, I could have dealt with the Sundering Titan. All right, we'll keep. So I might have to play 2 of them and then Emrakul or something. I don't know. Interesting dilemma, I guess. Or I could just play 2 and then just play 1. Just play 4 Ratchet Bombs, 1 Filigree Sylex, I guess. Could be a very valid way of going about it. Looks like it's Murktide. This should be interesting Magic one way or the other. At least that's the hope. And as much as I would love to just let this Cleansing Wildfire rip, there's so many reasons to not do that, because there's Dashing Ragavan, but also I'm mainly worried actually about a Shredder, a Ledger Shredder plus a spell. Plus them fetching out a basic. Oh no, this is like Modern Phoenix? So weird. I'm not used to Modern Phoenix. Okay, this should be interesting. Hopefully I don't have another Phoenix. Okay. So that's 1 spell. Question is, do we Lightning Bolt their Phoenix? It feels like a waste. Okay. Okay. Got 1 more here. I guess I will. I mean, life is life, right? I think I'm going to Geomancer. It'd be nice if they only had 2 basic islands. Well, ask and you shall receive, I guess. I'm kind of tempted to double Cleansing Wildfire if that's the case next turn. Okay, that's a good one. Demulets, that's a good one too. So they only casted 3 though, so I don't think they can cast Demulets. So Krenko is, let me think here. I think we need to do this. Huh. I think this is too valuable to Cleansing Wildfire this. I can't guarantee my other one is going to be a basic, so. So that's 1, 2, but they can't really get to 4 for the Demi-Lich. Not now, at least. Come on. Ah, dang it, man. Probably going to play Krenko. I think I have to. It's just kind of the most obvious play here. Okay. Now I do kind of want to play Synthesizer. Ooh, another Krenko. This is too good to pass up. I have to do this here. Let's see what they do first before I decide to attack. Okay, fair enough. So I think I'm actually going to do this here. And I think I will sacrifice on my own this card. Looks like a concession. Nice. Okay, Relic. This was the matchup Relic was born for. So, question, Unholy Heat. How badly do we need this? It kind of conflicts with Relic a little bit, but at the same time, I don't want to go down too far on removal, but I guess I still got my Shatterskulls to fall back on. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I need 2 forests. 2 forests, 4 bombs, 1 Sylex, I guess. Or I could do three bombs, 1 Sylex, and 1 like Emrakul or something just for shiggles. Okay. Okay. I'm going to research desk it up. They still could have Ledger Shredder, but I'm certainly more interested now in just letting the Cleansing Wildfire rip. Oh no, that's a change of plans. We're definitely going Relic. Hopefully they don't force negation me. Don't force negation me, bro. Cool. I see little downside in doing that. Highway robbery, that's fine. Another force negation, also fine. They don't have treasure cruise like they do have in Pioneer, so in a very strange way, I actually kind of feel like the Pioneer version might be better. The treasure cruise is really the most terrifying card out of the Pioneer version. And yes, they don't have fetch lands, but I think no fetch lands What the? I think no fetch lands plus treasure cruise is better than fetch lands with treasure cruise. Okay, they're going for a Demi-Lich. Okay. Okay. So let's see here. What can we? I mean, I might have to lose this, but I think it's a price worth. It's a price worth paying. Guess Bugbear. Notably, Unholy Heat wouldn't have really done much here. So I'm probably going to have to crack the Relic in response to their attack. Which is fine. Nah, I'd rather not. Yeah, this is not good though. I am going to need some extra removal, or else I'm going to need some. I don't know if this counts or not. So, question mark here. I think I'm going to go for removal. I'm feeling a little bit more lucky on the removal end. Okay. I guess technically I was a little more lucky on the removal end. So if they countered us, I guess GG, we'll go to game 3. I only did that on upkeep to play around Force Negation. And of course the Spectre of Double Lightning Bolt, Louise, hanging over me. Haha. Or I guess they can just cast it, right? Notably, though, Unholy Heat would not have made a difference. It's not like I was not aware of this possibility. I just didn't draw my cards. I don't give a shit. I mean, I had eight removal spells. Just didn't see any of them early in the game. Fuck this shit. Yep, we'll keep. This time we actually got a Lightning Bolt to play around a little bit of that Demi-Lich bullshit. I don't have discard, so I think I can probably let the I can probably hold the Shatterskull in hand. We're playing this out now seems very solid because A, I play around Spell Pierce, and B, I can get to work attacking their graveyard earlier, which is always nice. So if there's one thing last game taught me, it's that life total always matters, but hopefully they don't do something that... Well, they could get me a little bit here. At least I get one of these cards here. Maybe I should have kept it up. This is a tough call, because both are good. I'd get rid of Demi-Lich. It's a little easier to trigger Arclight from this bot. Yep. They need a Metamorphose. Then again, bolting the Phoenix and then relicking is not the most difficult thing in the world. Yeah, note to self, always keep a mana open. Probably play the Lightning Bolt on upkeep to play around Force Negation, and keep 2 mana up to play around Spell Pierce, and a Flusterstorm that isn't kicked. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I think I have to go after the Demi-Lich now. So they can exile... Oh, from their hand too. Sweet. Oh, but they don't have 4. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Krenko is going to be my plan for dealing with the Arclight. You know, I shouldn't have done this because actually I just realized that this allows them to Flusterstorm me now. I don't know why I let that go. Okay. Okay, so they played 1 spell this turn. Let's just do this, man. Let's not be cheeky. So I'm kind of feeling good about this situation. I mean, nothing is perfect. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is perfect, but still feels not bad. So I kind of want a Geomancer, and the reason is I'm going to go after green because I think it's a scarcer resource. I'm a little bit worried that they've got like pick your poison or something. I'm just doing this because it's a little bit more mana efficient, and I need to keep this up. Alrighty. Okay, they got another breeding pool. A little bit unexpected, but it's fine. Okay, hopefully they don't put a Demi-Lich in there and then cast it. Okay. Well, hopefully they don't put a Demi-Lich on that one either. I mean, like, you know, I gotta go where the whatever thing takes me. I think working on their red sources has got to be the priority now. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Well, Geomancer is good. Let's do this, though, I think. It's slightly more mana efficient. I will hit that. And they concede. Alright, well, we're back. We're back and breaking even. Okie dokie. Match 5, and I'll keep this one. Let's see. Let's see. So we'll Bugbear it up. We have no card draw so far, so there is that. But let's see. Okay, and so this I'm guessing is going to be Murktide, unless for some reason Phoenix is having a renaissance. Sometimes it always feels like when I face one deck, I face multiple decks back to back. So I don't want to, I mean, not everybody necessarily knows. Oh, baby. Doesn't necessarily know that I'm on the strip line plan presently. And I go off of it too sometimes. So, bam. Nah, this is giving me big time Murktide vibes. Murktide. Okay. I'm a little bit worried about playing a Seasoned Pyromancer right into a counterspell, which will then also juice a Murktide. So believe it or not, plus the cards for me to pitch right here are not exactly like the most okay. I'll go after the Thundering Falls just because it's an island, so there could be some type of utility here that the Barbed Canal doesn't have. Doesn't make a difference to me, but. And we gave them one more draw step, so they hopefully draw another island out of their deck. Okay. Blast Zone was kind of an ace in the hole in this matchup, so without that... I don't want to play into Spell Pierce. Plus, who knows? Maybe they run out of land drops. I don't know. So I've got some options, but their hand has got to be full of counterspells because counterspells and Murktides because like what else? They're not doing anything else. Oh, and lightning bolts. Okay. Well, I could actually get kind of janked by this, so I think I will lightning bolt this. I'm really glad I didn't play a Seasoned Pyromancer. That would have been very jank. Well, okay. I mean, well, at least I have to use more resources there. Interesting. Unfortunately, I smell that this could be a big Murktide coming. This hand isn't exactly doesn't have that much to deal with that. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. So what I actually like here is I can potentially cut them off of Counterspell. And if they counter, it's okay. I can hit these cards. I mean, eventually, I guess they're going to run out of counter magic. I don't like the way now they've got Subtlety mana up. I guess one way I can play around that is Geomancer. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go for it. Force them to have Counterspell. Subtlety would be like worst case scenario. Of course, Spell Pierce gets me now too. Okay, okay. Well, this is assuming that they don't have a third island, which they do. Okay. I could get Raggedashed, but that may not necessarily be the end of the world. Okay, that's fine. Unless they have another land drop, it's giving me the opportunity to play around the worst case scenario situation of Subtlety. And maybe it's okay that they exiled that as long as they don't have a Murktide. They're doing something here. So I am kind of predicting a Subtlety. I mean a what do we call it? Yeah, Solitude, I mean. No, Subtlety, I mean, sorry. I don't know what the white is for, to be honest. I think playing long game, I gotta go red. Don't tell me they got another one. Okay, they don't. I wanted to save these Unholy Heats for a Murktide, but I really don't. If I can avoid it, I don't want to get Raga tagged again. Let's see if they get another counterspell. At least they can't hard cast, worst cast Subtlety me. They got counterspell, they got counterspell. At least it's not the worst case scenario. It's fine. Get rid of that one. Yeah, and I think long game speaking, it was better to get rid of the red source. Now they have to draw another land to hardcast Subtlety. I kept this in hand because I want a better pitch with Seasoned Pyromancer, assuming that can. Okay, well, take it. Take it. See, this is more like it. Oh, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, so maybe I do need another forest, but pick your poison is a clean answer to Murktide. I totally didn't think about that. I don't know though. That's a question though. Here's the $1 million question. Do I run Relic of Progenitus? In the old days, Relic of Progenitus was an all-star. Yeah, you know what? Krenko's Buzzcrusher seems great and everything, but Relic, it can both mitigate a DRC and it can keep a Murktide in check. And I know that we kind of whittled their land sources down, but I kind of think that Geomancer is just kind of too expensive for the most part. Oh, Put Your Poison does also work against DRC when it's fully charged. Shatterskull Smashing. Question, Den of the Bugbear or Shatterskull Smashing? I think Den of the... I just... In this matchup, historically, I just never really activate Den of the Bugbear. Then again, I don't think I'm really going to run out of basics either, so we'll just take out one basic mountain. Should be okay. So there's the pick your poison, which is completely useless, but I guess beggars can't be choosers. I mean, remember, these would have been like Geomancer's Gambits or Krenko's Buzzcrushers, which aren't exactly good at blocking turn 1 Ragavan either, if that's what they've got. Now, this could have been, you know, Spikefield Hazard, so that is something to keep in mind. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll draw a Bada Bing, Bada Boom. So we didn't draw Bada Bing, Bada Boom. Well, we'll play this then, I guess. Oh, this is not good. You know, I mean, honestly, if I were them, I would seriously consider boarding Ragavan out, because I just... Historically, I play so much removal in this matchup. Now, I have been playing a little less removal recently, but... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just have to tolerate that sometimes this just happens this way. Yeah, they can play Relic if they want. Doesn't bother me too much, okay? Okay. Alright, well... I think life total is going to matter this game. We'll do this, just, this is the way they have to use a treasure token if they want to counterspell. Yep, I mean, I think this was better than giving them the chance to hold on to the treasure token. I really hope they don't reveal Lightning Bolt off there. Oh, that's significantly worse, actually. My own Seasoned Pyromancer, though, would probably go a long way to evening the odds here. Hey, asking you to receive, right? Now, hopefully they don't have Stern Scolding. Otherwise, like, at the end of the day, I did kind of get something that is very helpful to me. I can't use Pick Your Poison. I just can't. It's just, I have no green sources yet. And if they play Murktide, I just have to tolerate it. Well, now they need like a fetch land. Well, they need either an untapped blue source or a fetch land. One doesn't have to be first. So they need a untapped blue source or a fetch land to... Shouldn't be too difficult in order to cast that Murktide if they've got it. Blah 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 blah. Do we stabilize? Okay, interesting. I mean, I think I know what they're trying to bait me into. And I don't think I'm going to bite. So I think I'm only going to hit this. Now, if they got Quad Lightning Bolt, you know, so be it. But I don't think I'm going to bite just yet. Okay. So, here's what I'm thinking. think we need to do this. It's just kind of a given. I think we need to do this. And I think we need to do this and this. You know, in retrospect, though, there is something to be said, though, about maybe I should have hit the Ragavan, but yeah, I probably should have hit the Ragavan. Yeah, because the double removal spell is pretty brutal. Ugh. Okay, Fable the Mirrorbreaker. Wasn't expecting that one. Now I'm glad I did hit that Seasoned Pyromancer, because I'm going to want to block the Goblin Shaman token. I guess they want to know how badly they want that Ragavan in their graveyard. Considering I can just relic them anyway, probably not that much this turn. That's what that really does for them. Okay. So, I guess while they're tapped out, I think this is where we work on their lands a little bit. And I do want to hit that Ragavan, actually, so I will do this, even though it's my better judgment. Yeah. Interesting. Alright, well, I kind of wanted to hit this more anyway. To be honest. See if they discard anything. Yeah, reasonable. Okay, reasonable. No, I'm definitely blocking the Ragavan, I'll tell you that much. Alright, I think this is where I prioritize flashing back Spyros. Yeah, Bobble makes sense. I probably would have got rid of Ragavan, it's slightly less unique. Well, I will try to block. It's not the fanciest block of all time, token to token, but better than losing more life, I think. Okay, fair enough. And I think I'll continue trying to flash stuff back. Lightning Bolt seems reasonable to me. Yeah, you got to think carefully, don't you? Because I don't know that this is really worth fighting for, to be honest. Alright, if you say so. I do have this Seasoned Pyromancer for double blocks, and I will attempt it. Could also go for the Bugbear, but probably should have gone for the Bugbear, actually. I could have, nah, because cracking this wouldn't have been at its best. Okay. Let's try to take advantage as much as we can while they're tapped out here. Synthesizer seems good. Yeah, I'll always feel good about that one. I think I have to do this instead. Just because I really don't want them, I mean, I gotta exile this, I think. Seasoned Pyromancer seems exactly where we want to be. Okay, so I hope I don't get Tishana's Tidebindered, but I'm still going to do it on their upkeep. Just because I feel like the odds of them playing like a Consider or something are high enough. And this forces them to, if they had to Consider, to play it slightly less optimally. And, yeah, now I've even got some Ragavan protection, which is always nice. I really want to hold on to this heat if possible, so let's see if I can, yeah, it's a good pitch. I'll pitch the other Spyro if, I've got a feeling they might have a, subtlety though, but if so, I've got another. Okay. Well, I'll just do this anyway. Just because I'm kind of in that mood. Yeah, Unholy Heat, though, was a good card. Pitching it is a little sus. However, landing this Seasoned Pyro just seems very solid. I do have 3 more Pick Your Poisons also left, even worst case scenario if they have a Murktide. So Steam events here. So that is surprisingly good for them, but I think I might be able to overcome this, especially since oh, but now I really wish I didn't tap the green source. Well, that's good. Let's do this here. Bam, bam. MoneyGram. And that's a wrap. Alright, well, it didn't really come up, but I did feel a lot more secure knowing that I had those Pick Your Poisons in here. But only having 1 forest, you know, seems a little dubious. Oh, okay. So, post-league wrap-up. So, what's the takeaway here? So, look, I do think I want to try Pick Your Poison some more. I don't know if this is going to get on camera or not. This time I just kind of YOLO'd it and went for it. I do want to use 2 of these. The question is do I want to go 5 Ratchet Bombs, 1 Sylex? Do I want to go like 3 bombs, 1 Sylex? I mean, might as well one of the bombs be a Sylex to play around Pithing Needle effects a little bit or whatever. But or I can stuff a Emrakul in here. I don't know I don't know how much like I actually get out of that though, to be honest, because mill is very, very rare. But when I do face it, it's not like the Emrakul, single-handedly, makes me a favorable matchup. Let's just say that it's the difference between actually having a decent chance in mill versus like basically having no chance. I mean, that's not true. I do it's the difference between being like maybe 40% to win versus like 10%, and that is a huge difference. And it does obviously make a huge difference. But it's just like one matchup. There's literally only one matchup I want that Emrakul in, which always feels cheesy. I was also thinking I could play like I could play Engineered Explosives And I could play like 1 Plains or some other land I could fetch to juice this up to 3. The thing is, there's that stupid like Simulacrum, like what is it called? Or Synthesizer. Synthesizer. Quantity 0. There's obviously my Experimental Synthesizer, right? But did I misspell this? Oh, Synthesizer, not Synthesizer. Alright, bam. Yeah. Simulacrum Synthesizer, yeah. Yeah, this card is hell on wheels in the affinity matchups. Yeah, and it's just really hard actually to get. And the problem is, Pick Your Poison ain't gonna do jack against this card in the affinity matchup because there's always gonna have other artifacts to sack, which they always will. But Ratchet Bomb, I can, you know, I don't know. They play so few basics that the problem is they play indestructible lands, but I can like, you know, keep them off the basics sometimes, or the Urza Sagas with this stuff, and sometimes I don't know. Plus, this card can deal with the tokens. It's hard to say. But Engineer Explosives, the problem with Engineer Explosives, I feel like it's too much work to have to get that to 3, especially having to fetch another land. I don't know. Another option I could play also is I could play those Engineer Explosives, and I could play like 2 Sunken Citadels in the sideboard and 1 Forest. But I kind of like having 2 forests better. The thing about Sunken Citadel, I mean, it could improve the Tron matchup, having, you know, just 2 extra cards here to boost the Field of Ruins. So there is something to be said about that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you know, could, right? I guess it is something that is a possible consideration. These are so sitting ducks though against, you know, because they can also just get Field of Ruins so easily. There is something though, just a little bit appealing though. Let's think about this. Engineered Explosives, and then 1, but 2 Citadels. The Citadels also can be brought in to make my pick your poisons a little more consistent. I still might not want to play the Engineered Explosives though. I still might want to play just 3 Ratchet Bombs and 1 Sylex though. Just again because getting it up to 3. I could see getting it up to 3 to still being kind of a challenge. Because I'll need a Sunken Citadel in my opening hand, or very quickly early on. Then I'll need a Field of Ruin, which shouldn't be too difficult. Get my Forest. Oh yeah, and I'll need to know that I have to name I'll have to name like white or black or blue or something with Sunken Citadel so that this can actually go to 3. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, like if I'm bringing in pick your poison, this is probably going on green a good enough time that yeah. So I think I'm doing 3 Ratchet Bombs and yeah, you know what? Forget this. I'll just do 2 of this and 1 Sylex. Yeah, non-basics are just more vulnerable to this and that. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, in the matchups where I need the Ratchet Bombs, I think having a 5th one is probably worth it. So, okay, I guess next time we literally just run it back like this. I think I honestly could have beat that Coffers deck with the if I had a 2nd Forest, because then I could have used the Pick Your. I didn't have to discard the Pick Your Poison to Pyromancer. I could have used it to deal with the Sundering Titan. And yes, Sundering Titan can be dealt with because it's an artifact, even though it's not a creature with flying. Also, did they have a ring? I don't think they did. I think when they killed me on that last match, I don't think they had a ring. So, and plus, if they have a ring, I mean, probably got to deal with it anyway, and it is what it is. But and there is just something to be said though that this finally gives us a clean answer to Murktide. That has got to count for something, right? That has got to count for something. That's a clean answer to Archon. It's a clean answer to Emrakul too, actually. Yeah, actually, yeah. You know, maybe I honestly, I think I completely failed to see just how relevant that creature with flying part is, actually. I mean, that's the type of effect that you never really sideboard just for that, but it's the kind of thing that when it's tagged on to a card that also has utility, you know, in other ways, yeah, it's pretty good. Now I see why, like, there's such a commotion about this card. Yeah, I mean, we went 3-2. It was a rocky start, but, like, yeah, but this is a... Plus, sometimes they play even that Hydrate Krasis out of the Amulet Titan deck that can deal with that, too. Yeah, I definitely think Pick Your Poison, for sure, demands some more, demands some more consideration. I think I wrote this off, too easily. We didn't necessarily get to see it do that much, but it was just the feeling that I had answers to, like, Murktide or stuff like that. That was kind of nice. So, anywho, all right. I guess that's it for now. Let's shout out the patrons. Gotta give them some love. Let's see here, audience. Thank you, Sneaks. Thank you, Dave Molina, B0812, Paul Wynn, Necrosis, Adrian King, Gavin Dalward, Daryl, B-Train4, Savage O's, Kevin Robach, Roland Sonderman, S. Robertson, HJCLU, Erwin Lopez, Equal Smith, and Michael Patton. Thank you all, everybody. Until next time.